Hey everybody, welcome back inside another exciting episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. This will be our February 2020 compilation video for the new subs. I know there was at least one this month. Welcome. We do this beginning of every month where we review the expected kit releases for the given month. This, of course, again, being February of 2020. So the first thing to address is the fact that we told you guys in the January compilation video, hey, there's going to be these XYZ number of releases from round 2, and then they proceeded to have a great deal more releases in their monthly video, which then were added to the January release slate. And I was like, oh, okay, and we updated you guys on that. And something that had happened since then that I have, through the intervening weeks, not mentioned because I didn't write myself a note, so I didn't remember, was the fact that all of the secondary kits, all of the kits that we never, we did not mention in the first original one, which were about 8 kits all told, uh, which involve the ones I'm going to list here in a second, were actually pushed back to February again. So there are February releases in the sense that there are February kits that are actually part of the February releases themselves. And then there are these 7 or 8 kits that are pushed back to February, but are technically still considered to be January's products through their accounting practices. So the stuff that is going to be coming out this month in February that was supposed to come out last month are the 1/32 scale, 32 Ford scale stars, the 1966 Buick Wildcat, the 1965 Chevy Chevelle modified stock car, the Ford LNT 8000 snowplow, the Tyrone Malone hideout drag, or well, those technically be the Bandit, but those Bandag decals aren't in it because of licensing with Kenworth, so it's just now the custom drag truck. The hideout truck, you recall, the tow vehicle for that already has been released back in January. And then also the Freightliner FLC and 40-foot container trailers, the Reeboks Italeri kits. So those are the carryover kits into February. February's actual release, we have stuff out around 2, and then Salvinos is dropping a kit this month, and then everything else is going to be an overseas release. So at round 2, the actual February releases, out of AMT, you have the reissue of the 69 Plymouth GTX Pro Street. This, of course, the kit from the 1990s. They are adding pad-printed tires to it, which, of course, something it didn't have back in the 1990s, and also a new set of decals with that. And then also a reissue of the 1976 GMC General tractor, Class 8 tractor-trailer type tractor. It does have another kit with the Coca-Cola tie-in. This does not come with any machines or bottles or vending or anything else like that. It's just Coca-Cola decals on for the kit. It's been a little while since the GMC General has been released. It has sort of a kissing cousin, twin sister, known as the Chevrolet Bison. Back when Chevrolet and GMC actually made heavy-duty trucks, which went actually back into the 40s and the 50s, but GMC General and the Chevy Bison pretty much being the last of the Class 8 trucks that GM directly made. Now, GM did involve itself with Volvo at the very beginning of Volvo white trucks and stuff like that, but it's a history lesson you don't need for right now. So that kit is coming back out again. It's something that's been a little harder to find, a little more on the expensive side if you want to try to pick one up. I have the Bison, which I got an original one of off our guy who does our plastic model kit sales for my model club, and so having the GMC General come back is nice because I can grab one of those and then I'll have them both. And then from MPC, we have a reissue of the 1976 Dodge Dart. So this is pretty much identical to the 75 Dodge Dart. It does come with a figure, but I believe that was also with the 75 because obviously it's the same tooling. It has pad-printed tires. It has new decals, which include the Hang 10 Hawaiian theme decals, which I think technically go to the 75, but 75, 76 are basically the same thing. So I believe you could build a 75 out of the 76 Dodge Dart, or maybe I'm missing a grill or some headlights or taillights that I'm not realizing, but from everything I've seen online, everybody's sort of nonplussed about the fact that this is basically being reissued with a different year attached to it. So there is that, and then Salvinos is going to get you the 1983 Talladega 5, I don't know if it's Talladega, which of the Talladega races it would be, spring or fall, I never looked that up, but the Talladega race winner Pontiac Grand Prix for Richard Petty. It'll be the first time that the STP and the Texas Jeans are on a commercially released model kit decal sheet. Now, I think that's been available in the aftermarket before, but this is the first kit that's released with this specific Richard Petty livery, and this will be a repop, as far as the kit goes, of the monogram tooling that, of course, Salvinos picked up beginning of last year. I think it was when this sale between Blitz and Atlantis and Salvinos took place, where they swapped around some tooling they didn't want, or well, Blitz sold off some tooling they didn't want, and then Blitz sold, or I should say, it just had the three names there, and then wow, it just poof. Did you see the cloud of smoke as the name of Atlantis went straight out of my head? Atlantis sold the tooling to Salvinos for all the NASCAR stuff. So this will be their third reissue of the monogram tooling. They did the Buick Regal, they did the Monte Carlo, and now you're going to get the Grand Prix. There is a 2+2 in plans, but that is not this. This is just a straight reissue of the old monogram kit, which is not a bad thing, but it is, just so you know what you're getting. There is that. Moving overseas, over at Fujimi, we've had one kit of theirs be delayed, and that is the 1/12 scale Calsonic Group A race car version of their 1/12 R32 GTR. That has been pushed back to April, so if you were looking for that this month, sorry. The actual 1/12 scale R32 GTR Skyline Street Kit is going to get reissued this month. So it must have been a decal issue or something along the production issues as to why that got pushed back for another 2 months, but be that as it may. Getting another reissue of the Suzuki Hustler G, this time in positive green metallic. I'm pretty positive that's the last of the colors this car comes in. And then a set of 14-inch wheel work equip and 18-inch Zeit wheels. Going over to Hasegawa, they're going to be a reissue of the 1/4 ton 4x4 Jeep, as I like to call it. It's just a Willys military Jeep. And this is going to have a blonde military girl. What is that? What's that, Brian? Yes, you're right. It is a resin girl, all the things moment. All right, so then you have the 1992 Safari Rally winning Toyota Celica kit being reissued, the 1997 Acropolis Rally Evo 6 kit being reissued, and the Subaru Legacy Rally kit, which will represent either the 1994 Royal Auto Club Iraq Rally or the 1995 Monte Carlo Rally, which it was the winning car for that. Now, I've done a little research into this since I've been buying some rally kits here recently. And in order to make the rack rally kit, as far as the livery goes, you can build that straight out of the box. The Monte Carlo Rally, however, did use the 555 tobacco livery. So right now, I don't see a set of decals for this kit in the terms of that specific rally, but that doesn't mean that there won't be some pretty soon. I'm sure that somebody made some, Studio 27, Taboo, somebody made those decals in the past, and they will reissue them if they did, or they will make some new ones if they didn't. Really, you just need to swap out the little bracket comma thing they use to hold as a placeholder for the 555 livery, and put that in there. But the 1995 Monte Carlo Rally is still supporting the tobacco. So if you want to build the Monte Carlo Rally, just keep in mind you have to keep your eye out for some aftermarket for that. Tamiya is going to reissue their Toyota Supra 3.0 Turbo. That's an A70 or a Mark III Supra for those people not up on what a 3.0 Turbo would be. That's an interesting reissue because that's been out of the catalog for a little while. Now we're going to see them reissue pretty much all of their Supra kits this year, really this spring, as they sort of cash in on everybody being interested in the new BMW-based Supra. So they've already reissued the Mark IV Supra, but that wasn't something that wasn't really out of the catalog. It just needed to be rerun to sort of restock. This has been out of the catalog for half a dozen years now. I want to say 5-6 years. So that's going to make a comeback. KA Models, we talked about this, was a fun little kit when it got announced. Primarily associated with photo etch and resin trans kits of things. This is going to be their first legitimate injected molded kit. It is a Mazda K360. It's a little three-wheeled sort of pickup truck looking thing. They made these things from 1959 to 1969, and they made 280,000 of them over the course of the production run for the 10 years. So it was a popular little, again, it's a very small thing. It's a three-wheeled cart, basically. K vehicle, as the Japanese would call it, and it's not quite full detail, but it does have engine detail in the back and the bottom, and it looks like it's a regular model kit as far as what you get there. Looks like it's about 70, 80 pieces, so nothing real super basic or anything else like that. It looks like it should be a really nice model kit. Now, how well it'll go together and all those things, when you're making your first model kit, I'm not sure who's making it for them in terms of production, because I don't think KA has the wherewithal and the facilities to start making injected molded models. So I'm sure somebody in Korea is making for them, whether it's Academy or the people that made the kits for Galaxy Limited, perhaps, because they were in South Korea, you may recall. So we'll see what that looks like when it comes out, but it's still kind of interesting. KA and a couple other companies are making a whole bunch of resin stuff for this, 1950s, 1960s TV sets and barbecue bricks, like the bricks you'd build a fire pit out of, and all sorts of different little bells and whistle type things. I saw the other day 2 figures with a set of cardboard boxes where it was supposed to be a home delivery to a housewife. Literally what it said, the housewife looked awful American for this thing being a Japanese-only delivery vehicle. But they're making a whole bunch of diorama stuff in 1/24 scale, which is really cool because you don't see a lot of 1/24 scale diorama stuff. They all seem to be always 1/35 scale military stuff to sort of go with it. And it's also with it. It's all sold separately. But it's kind of an interesting thing, especially since all the appliances and things like that are Japanese, very Japanese in their origin. They're not something you would see in the United States, which makes the fact that the figurine of the lady taking delivery being American is rather amusing. Although, hey, Okinawa military wasn't in Japan at the time, so that's a thing, I guess, a rationale. And then over to Aoshima to wrap up this video, reissue of the Lamborghini Aventador Roadster and their PE set, and that's going to be in the new supercar lineup that they're doing, which I'm really not sure what they're excluding out of it as of right now, but I guess we'll find out over time. Reissue of the 2002 R34 V-Spec 2, 2014 GTR Pure Edition, 1979 Toyota Mark II Chaser. That's the kit that comes with 2 bodies, but you have to pick one, Mark II or the Chaser, as far as what you're building. Reissue of the 1998 Toyota Chaser Toro 5. Reissue of the 1991 Silvia S13 Vertex, reissue of the 1978 Toyota Hilux Custom, reissue of the 1985 Toyota AE6 Truno Car Boutique, reissue of the Urace R34 Type R. Actually, that's not a reissue. That's the new tooling kit that was supposed to come out at the end of the year last year, but got pushed back to February. This is going to be based off their brand new R34 tooling. There is a Urace R34 that exists out of the D1 Grand Prix kits, which is what that was when I started reading it. But no, that's the one with about 15, 20 new pieces going on the new R34 sedan tooling, so that's going to be coming up. Hopefully, it's still in the February releases last time I saw. And then there is going to be 3 sets of 19-inch wheels. You have the SSR Professor SP1s, SP3s, and MS3s, as well as the 14-inch Mark I and Mark II wheels. And then last but not least, you get a reissue of the Liberty Walk Liberty Work R35 Type 2 version 2, and that is going to be your Advan liveried version of that kit. So guys, that wraps up this month. Hopefully there's a few things you see there. We're going to pick up a couple of those rally kits and the KA 360 for sure. And I think it's a pretty quiet month all in all, personally. So hopefully, again, there's some stuff there that you'd be interested in, and we'll see you guys on the other side.